Hola, ¿qué tal amigos de Rock FM? Hoy con nosotros tenemos a una persona que ha cambiado la historia de la música y que ha cambiado la historia del mundo. Él es Klaus Meine, cantante y compositor de los Scorpions, una de las piezas fundamentales, como decía, no solo para crear grandes himnos de la música, sino para crear grandes himnos de la sociedad. Está con nosotros en Rock FM, le tendremos en el Rock the Coast, le tendremos en el Download, pero hoy le tengo junto a ti y junto a mí en Rock FM. Hello Klaus, bienvenido a Rock FM, welcome to Rock FM.
Thank you, hi guys, how are you doing?
Pues aquí estamos totalmente alucinados con tu visita. Son más de 5 décadas que llevas encima de los escenarios. ¿Cuál es el secreto de la eterna juventud?
Well, that's a good question, So, what can I say? I think it's the chemistry in the band, and a good part of it, it's like it has been built on friendship, and it's important in a band that the way it works, the way you write songs together, and you spend so much time together on the road, traveling all over the world, it's very important, you have the feeling when you're up on stage, you're surrounded by friends, and so chemistry has been pretty strong, and through all the highs and lows, we managed to get through there, and you see it especially, when you have a difficult time, when you have a hard time, then really you need your friends, and to go through it and until you make it back up to the top again.
Klaus, has hablado de tus amigos, pero yo quiero saber tú, ¿qué truco tienes, qué entrenamiento realizas con tu voz para seguir hoy en día en forma?
It's like, it has been always that way, when you're a singer in the band, the vocal cords, it's your instrument, it's a very sensitive instrument, those little vocal cords in your throat, and you have to take really good care of it. And I do my warm-ups every other day, even though now when we're not touring, I try to stay in shape and take good care of my vocal cords and do my daily vocal workout routine, to make sure when we go back out on the road, then that my voice is in a good shape. And of course, it's good between all the touring, to sometimes you have a good rest, for your body and especially for your voice.
Una de las peores cosas que le puede pasar a un cantante, Klaus, es quedarse sin voz. ¿A ti te pasó? ¿Cómo conseguiste recuperar tanto física como mentalmente y retomar tu voz habitual?
Well, actually, what we're talking about here is like when I lost my voice around the Blackout recordings, which was around 82. Quite a long time ago, and so it was just like with so many shows, night after night, and not only the touring, but also every time the recording process in the studio, where I was not singing only like the lead vocals on the record, but also all the backing tracks and a million of vocal tracks. To really make it sound right and to make it sound great. So it's a lot of pressure on a singer. And back then I had to go through surgery, and when my voice came back, so I was the most happiest man on earth. And since then, and this is like before Blackout was released, which became such a huge success around the world. And everything after that, to me, until this day, it feels like a huge encore, and I enjoy every moment of it. And that's why we're very excited to go back out on the road in 2019, and we start the tour in Spain.
Este fin de semana, justamente, este verano, tendremos a los Scorpions en España, como bien acabas de decir, tanto en el Download Festival con bandas más jóvenes, como pueden ser Tool, Slipknot o Papa Roach, como en Málaga, con ese proyecto de Richie Blackmore, con Rainbow, con UFO, con Europe, grandes bandas clásicas de todo el tiempo. ¿Estás expectante por ello? ¿Cómo es compartir, por ejemplo, un festival con los grandes junto con Scorpions, con Richie Blackmore, por ejemplo. ¿Y qué comunión hay entre España y los Scorpions que siempre estáis aquí y el público responde español?
Well, I mean, we're coming to Spain for such a long time, and every time we're coming back, it feels like a very close and very strong bond between the Scorpions and our Spanish fans, and we can feel it when we're up on stage and the way a Spanish crowd there, it's a pretty wild crowd, and it's just the way we really love it, They really go mad, they go crazy, and the way they sing along, and even when I throw in a song like Wind of Change and sing a little bit in Spanish, and it's amazing. You can feel there's a whole wave of so much positive and powerful energy, and it's wonderful, and to come to these festivals, also like with Rainbow at the Rock the Coast Festival, I think unfortunately we play on different days. I think us is Friday and they play Friday, or the other way around, I don't know. But unfortunately it's not the same day, because I haven't seen Richie for a long time, and it's always great, like last year when we played Barcelona, the Rock Fest in Barcelona, we met with our friends from KISS, and we met with our old manager, our former manager, Doug McGee. It's with this kind of festivals in the summer, it's always meeting up with your old friends, and I'm looking forward. Also, coming back to Madrid for the Download Festival, it's going to be great. We're very excited about it.
Klaus, has hablado justo del público español y cómo responde en canciones como Wind of Change, por ejemplo. Esta es una composición vuestra, de vuestra experiencia en Rusia en los años del muro de Berlín, como grupo pionero, ¿no?, en entrar en ese telón de acero, en esa cortina de hierro. ¿Crees que la música puede seguir rompiendo muros en este siglo XXI?
I mean, music had a huge part in it, I think. I'm not saying our music was the reason the wall came down. No. Don't get me wrong. But I just know that rock music in general, was always the voice of rebellion, and there were also, throughout the 70s and early 80s, there were also many Russian bands. They tried to
fight,
to play concerts and in their lyrics and get the message to the fans. And when Western bands like the Scorpions came to Russia for the first time, it was really like a big deal, and we could see that the Russian fans, they really were waiting, and they wanted to be part of the Western world. They told us at the Moscow Music Peace Festival in '89, which was like something like the Russian Woodstock, They said the times of the Cold War will be over very soon. It's a whole new generation, and yes, music had a part of it, definitely, and we could feel it. There was a huge scream for freedom, and few months later, when we came back from Moscow in August '89, the Berlin Wall came down in November. It was just like a wave that started in Moscow in the Soviet Union and went all over Europe, and was really like a world event. And for us, being a German band, it was wonderful to be part of this moment, this historical moment in time.
Yeah. Donald Trump, Brexit, el mundo se va a la mierda y los Scorpions siguen de pie.
Yeah, we continue to play concerts around the world, and we continue. I mean, we're a rock band. We rock you guys like a hurricane, okay? But when it comes to a song like Wind of Change, it's even 30 years later. It seems like playing in front of three generations, which is a privilege anyway, but also the young generation, they understand the message. They understand the message of hope for a more peaceful world. And especially these days, we see with this American president, who wants to build a wall at the Mexican border, we lived through this for many years, in Germany with the divided country, with the Berlin Wall, where so many people lost their lives just trying to be free and live in a free world, So it's very sad. And like here in Europe with the Brexit, I think it's every other day. It's the only thing you hear in the news is the Brexit, and it's all about separation, while Wind of Change was about joining together, a word that comes together in a positive way, in a peaceful way, not about separation. And I hope the young generation, they will make the difference. And when I see this young lady from Sweden, Greta, who is out on the street for the Friday Futures, this, I think, the Greta generation is something where I can feel that there will be a whole new generation out there, and hopefully there will be a change for a more peaceful world, for all of us joining together again.
Mm-hmm.
And not breaking apart here in Europe,
Yeah. Hace unos años vivimos la Farewell World Tour de Scorpions. Afortunadamente seguís hoy en día encima del escenario, todavía seguís en pie. ¿Cuántos años quedan por delante para seguir disfrutando del directo de Scorpions? ¿Tenéis algún proyecto futuro hoy en día?
Well, right now we will be in the studio. We just enjoyed a break from touring for a couple of months, but before we come back to keep going with the Crazy World Tour in June, that will take us one more time for another run of shows around the world. First in Europe, later in South America. We do Rock in Rio again this year, which is wonderful. And we go back to Russia at the end of the year. So, but before we go back to the tour, we will be in the studio and work on hopefully some great new songs, and we work on a couple of things like a medley for the show, to change the set list a bit and refresh the set list, and maybe come up with some songs we haven't played for a long time from the 80s. And so there are a lot of things that's going on right now before we pick up the tour in June.
Klaus, hemos hablado justo en la pregunta anterior de los jóvenes hoy en día y de las bandas jóvenes y los grupos más recientes. ¿Escuchas bandas noveles? ¿Qué bandas crees hoy en día que han podido coger el testigo de los Scorpions?
Actually, it's great to see young bands coming out, and I really enjoyed, like in the last couple of months, this young band from America, Greta Van Fleet. I think a lot of people I know, they sound very much like Led Zeppelin, but it's a young generation of musicians, and the way they play it, the way they compose their songs, the way they present it, it's just wonderful. It's a whole new generation, and they carry on the great spirit of a band like Led Zeppelin, but it's really worth to check it out, and I really like them a lot, And So is there another Scorpions band coming up? I don't know. There are many tribute bands around, and I think there's also one in Spain. There are many tribute bands, but I don't know. It would be wonderful if one day there's a band that we follow in our footsteps. With this generation of bands like Scorpions, AC/DC, Aerosmith, Ozzy, so, you can see the end of the day is around the corner,
Yeah.
And right now, we're so happy with every day and every tour. Every other year we go out there, and where we still can pull this off and reach also the young kids out there. Even though it's like more than 50 years with the Scorpions now, it doesn't feel like that, Every other show is like, come on, guys, we give it a 200% out there, and then when the kids go home and say, this was like magic, then we're happy. And it's only together, the band and the fans, we can pull it off together. And as long as we can do it and it feels great, we're out there, you know. But who knows what the future might bring, you know. So right now it feels wonderful, and we are very privileged we still can do this after all these years. And it's very motivating to see the kids in front of the stage going crazy and rocking out there with us with songs that were written before they were even born.
It's no easy, Klaus, 50 years playing rock and roll on a stage, no?
Yeah, it's hard to believe, you know. It's like we just went to a place where you have to have a working visa for America, you know. And the guy asked me, so Klaus, how long you have with the Scorpions? And I heard myself saying, 50 years. It was like, it was so crazy, you know. It feels a little, what can I say? But on the other side, it's the thing, we join a club of a very few bands who are out there for 50 years plus, and it's something you can be really proud of, you know. And we're really proud to carry the flag of rock and roll and play on a global stage, you know. This is just wonderful. It's also still go to new places like last year when we went to China or to Australia, New Zealand, you know. So it's a wonderful thing to have this global stage, and so many fans around the world know and enjoy our music, and that's very, very motivating, you know. And now in the next couple of days, when we come back together in the studio, let's see what the future might bring. I'm not saying there will be a new album out next year. I don't know, but it's a good thing after all these years. We still are very passionate about coming together and starting a creative process and going into some new material, you know. That feels really good, and it's a challenge. Like every time, it never has been different. It has been always like that, and so as long as that's the way the Scorpions work, you know, and can come up with maybe another surprise and create something new, it would be wonderful.
Michael Schenker ha declarado el año pasado que su hermano Rudolf es un tramposo y que tú eres el único artista de la banda. ¿Cuál es la relación hoy en día en la actualidad con Michael Schenker?
Well, I don't know. You know, I mean, I haven't seen Michael for quite a long time, but I don't really follow up this controversy between Rudolf and Michael. You know, but just here and then, of course, I've been asked. I don't know. I mean, this is like family. This is Michael and Rudolf. They're brothers, and I, for my part, from my point of view, I would love them to come together and make peace, you know, and put it all on the table and get over with it, and just come back to a normal brothers relationship, you know, and life is too short for this kind of bullshit, you know. And I think it's hopefully they come together and come back. Michael is a wonderful guitar player, like a legendary guitar player, same like our friend Uli John Roth. You know, we're really blessed with some of the greatest guitar players in the world of rock music, you know, and so I see Uli is doing a great job out there, and Michael is on the road as well. But I don't like to hear him say things about Rudolf and the Scorpions that are just not the way to do it, you know. He should come and put it on the table and speak to Rudolf or speak to us directly, you know. This is the way to do it. Be a man, stand up, come on, Michael.
Last question, Klaus. Thank you so much. ¿Es verdad que uno de tus primeros sueldos como cantante fue con 8 o 9 años cantando en las fiestas familiares el Ave María?
Yeah, absolutely. That's true, you know. I mean, it's a beautiful song, and in every like family gathering, family parties, or around Christmas, or you know, so it was always. I had a moment where I came up with a little performance, and I remember when I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old, So I was standing on a chair, and I was singing Ave Maria and all my family, and they were all around, and they loved it. And it was very encouraging, I knew that this was something I wanted to do in my life, being a singer. And I had this, I could feel this very, very early on in my life. And not knowing which way I would go, it was a long way from Ave Maria to Blackout or Rock You Like a Hurricane.
Klaus,
but I knew no matter what you sing, I wanted to be a singer. I just could feel it in my heart,
I'd like to know, can you sing in us Ave Maria 5 seconds only to remember this?
Can I sing Ave Maria?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know.
Just 5 seconds.
Ave Maria. Oh God.
Thank you so much, Klaus. Las cuestiones. ¿Se os pasó alguna vez por la mente cantar en alemán?
Well, not really. In the beginning, I mean, the English lyrics were like a ticket to play all over the world, and we were inspired by all these English-American bands. So for this guitar-orientated music, for our ears, it needed English lyrics, And but then later on, I always had the feeling it would be great to have a song with German words, with German lyrics. But it was always a record company who said, "Come on, Klaus, this is a great song, but we want the world to hear it. If you sing it in German, it's only for Germany, and the rest of the world, you leave them outside. So I think around the time when we recorded Eye to Eye, there was a song, Du bist so schmutzig, like kind of a funky, crazy rock song with funky German lyrics. But it was always like something you wanted to do. But then at the end of the day, our record labels, they always wanted me to sing in English so that we make music for the whole world.
Para despedir la entrevista, Klaus, ¿podrías decirnos 3 cantantes que han marcado tu carrera?
I mean, it was definitely the Beatles, and also The Who was also one of the bands I really loved a lot. Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, all those rock bands. But I think it really started shaping up where I really was inspired was the Beatles. And they wrote the coolest songs, and the way Lennon and McCartney, they were singing together, this is really what inspired me a lot. I always like, in all those years, in our recordings, all those records, when you have a great song, when you have a powerful melody, a great song features also a great harmony, great harmony vocals, Yeah. And this was something that goes back to the early Beatles days, when I liked the way they sang, and also John Lennon was singing more the harder stuff like Twist and Shout, the early days. But I also liked the Who very much, and it's the same thing. They had Behind Blue Eyes, but also like My Generation, all those great rock tracks. But the Who were also very powerful, aggressive band, very hard-rocking band, but at the same time with beautiful melodies, you know. And this was something that inspired me a lot. And with my first band, before the Scorpions, we had a lot of songs in our repertoire from the Who.
Pues ha sido un verdadero placer, un orgullo, Klaus Meine, que estés compartiendo estos minutos con nosotros, con RockFM, contigo, que estás ahí detrás día tras día. Esto es un regalo, tener hoy a Klaus Meine con nosotros, de Scorpions, cantante, frontman, compositor, y por supuesto que marcando el paso, marcando las huellas, 50 años atrás y hoy en día en la actualidad. Rock the Coast en Málaga, en Fuengirola, y Download Festival. Scorpions, Klaus Meine estará aquí en España este próximo verano. Thank you so much, Klaus. It's a very, very pleasure for us.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and we see you in the summer. Rock the Coast, and of course at the Download in Madrid, all right?
See you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye then. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.